everyone, long time no see. I think the last time that I shared a journey with you guys was a couple months ago with the book of Psalms, and I actually did finish it around that time, but due to my own laziness and somewhat busy schedule because it was the end of the school year, I wasn't able to post any of the videos. But I'm here to let you guys know that I'm officially back, this time with the book of 1 Kings, and I'm beyond excited to dive in with you guys. So today is July 17th, 2023, and I read 1 Kings chapter 1. This chapter is pretty drama-filled, it's jam-packed. We first start off by learning that David is finally facing his last days and his old age. And one of his sons, named Adonijah, sees this as an opportunity to place himself on the throne as the next ruler. So he gathers some of his close people, and they have a great party and feast, basically with an attitude that he is already king. Now this reaches the ears of Nathan and Bathsheba. They were promised that Bathsheba's son, Solomon, would be the next ruler of Israel, and so them two come up with a plan to bring this up to David's attention and to get Solomon on the throne. So Bathsheba first goes in to talk to David, and Nathan later on follows her to confirm her words. Hearing the update, David makes up his mind and makes his final decision in verses 29 to 30 and proclaims Solomon as his next ruler. So they have the whole ceremony for Solomon, and he is officially the king of Israel. So while Solomon is having his whole ceremony, becoming the king, Adonijah and his close people are still enjoying their little party and their little feast. And they begin to wonder what the cities outside are so excited about. And Jonathan brings the news to Adonijah that Solomon has officially been pronounced as king, and Adonijah begins to fear Solomon. Our whole chapter comes to an end with Adonijah paying an homage to King Solomon and King Solomon forgiving him. So for a takeaway today, I want us to look and focus on verses 5 through 7. So basically, verse 5 says, "Now Adonijah the son of Haggith exalted himself, saying, 'I will be king.' Then he goes on to prepare a bunch of things so that he could be a king." And verses 6 and 7 tells us the reactions that the people around Adonijah had. It says his father had never at any time displeased him by asking, "Why have you done thus and so?" And in verse 7, it says he conferred with Joab the son of Zeruiah and with Abiathar the priest, and they followed Adonijah and helped him. When Adonijah arrogantly exalts himself as king, the verses tell us that nobody, not even his own father, had the courage or the guts to tell him to stop or tell him that he was doing something wrong by going behind people's backs. So today I want to talk about speaking up, pointing out the wrongs, especially in those that we are the closest with. In a sermon that my youth pastor shared a couple Sundays ago, he said that we're often so easygoing on the sins that the people around us in church commit, but we're so quick to rebuke those who are outside of the church. And he said that in the Bible, it says that God will take care of those who are outside of the church, and our job is to rebuke our brothers and sisters who are in the church and to be especially harsh on them out of love. And I'm the first to say that it is so hard to confront someone, especially when it comes to things that are displeasing to God. There are so many times that my friends at church have told me things that I was like, that's not okay. But I did not have the courage to tell them that it is wrong. And I don't really know what it is. It's just really hard to tell someone face to face that they're wrong and what they're doing is something that as Christians we should not do. And I bet you the moment that I call someone out on their behavior and the fact that it is not pleasing to God, I bet you they are going to say, "Oh my goodness, she thinks she's so holy." I think that's the biggest thing that's holding me back from speaking up. Another big thing that holds me back from speaking up is the fact that I always tell myself, Jesus forgave, and I choose the Jesus way by forgiving them also. And we hear so many times to turn the other cheek and to provide mercy because we've received mercy from God. And in today's chapter 2, Solomon ends up forgiving Adonijah for what he's done. But right now, I want to bring your attention to verse 52. It says, "And Solomon said, 'If he, Adonijah, will show himself a worthy man, not one of his hairs shall fall to the earth. But if wickedness is found in him, he shall die.'" So although Solomon completely forgave Adonijah by telling him to go to your house, basically telling him that he is free to return to his home, he also says that if this happens one more time, that he will be put to death. As a Christian, I find it really hard to find that line of yes and no, like whether to forgive and move on or to tell them face to face that this is not okay. But in times like this, God always reminds me that God, yes, He is a God of love and of forgiveness, but He is also a God of justice. He is righteous and He does not let sin go by. So I'm going to wrap all of this up by saying, as Christians, it's hard to confront and it's also hard to tell where the line lies, but we can't be afraid in speaking up for our faith and speaking up for the faith of our brothers and sisters in a place of love. Well, that is it for today's journey. I thank you all so much for joining. Even if it's different than mine, I really hope that you guys had some kind of takeaway from today's chapter. Thank you all so much for joining, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with the next chapter. Bye!